It's all yours.
Okay, thank you. Okay, everybody. So, hello. My name is Seijin Shiratori. I'm 33 years old. I live in Japan. I'm a proud American, as well as a proud unificationist. And what you see there is my desktop. Let me pull up the presentation for you. So today, I'm very grateful for my uncle in faith, Mr. David Rosenblum, for having me here to speak. And I really pray that my presentation can be helpful, informative, and hopefully enjoyable. Of course, I understand that maybe some people here might not find it enjoyable, but the purpose for my presentation is not to just say nice things that won't offend anybody. It is for me to give a presentation that is true to myself. Okay, I don't intend to hold any punches, so just so you guys are warned. Okay, so let us begin. So the title of my presentation is Searching for the Truth, PragerU, IFVOC, and Little Old Me, smiley face. Okay, so I am a member of both Prager Force, which is the youth division of PragerU, and of the IFVOC. I'll be getting into the details of the organization later on. And I've been fairly active in both groups. And today I wanted to share with you what I have been up to. So here's the table of contents. First, I'll be speaking about PragerU, then of the IFVOC, and then I intend to conclude. Okay, so let us start with the PragerU segment. Here we go. Okay. So being part of Prager Force, I was blessed with the opportunity to be interviewed one-on-one by the one and only Mr. Dennis Prager on his radio show. I was very, very happy that I could support PragerU because I feel that they're doing valuable and important work. But at the same time, I was just honored that I could testify my faith on a nationally broadcasted program, as well as talk about Japan's political situation. So I understand that some have watched the interview and some have not yet. So I decided that it might be nice to have a little watch party today. So I will be playing the interview at 1.25 speed than usual because I have a lot to cover in this presentation. And just so everybody knows, I think it was kind of clear in the chit chat earlier that my mother is not Mexican, she's Mexican American. So she's an American of Mexican descent. Just wanted to put that up there. Okay, so without further ado, let us watch the interview. Here we go. Please let me know if you can't hear the sound or any trouble. Okay.
It took the left 100 years to gain control of our education system. With disruptive concepts like Prager University, we can take it back in a decade. But only people support us. Go to prageruniversity.com and donate today. During August, which is fundraising month for PragerU, almost every day I feature a member of Prager Force. The Young People's Organization is now 20,000 members around the world. And here is a member of Prager Force who is child of a Japanese father and a Mexican mother, and who is married to a Japanese woman and is living in Japan, Seijin Shiratori. So Seijin, are you right now in Japan? Am I talking to you in Japan?
That's correct, sir.
So why are you clearer than when I talk to people in Glendale, California, where my studio is situated? It's actually disturbing.
Oh my God. I tried to prepare as much as I can.
Yeah. So what time is it in Japan?
Yes, it's 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, I'm grateful to you. What time do you normally go to sleep?
Maybe around 12 or so, I think. But this is definitely worth it.
Well, that is extremely kind. I knew it was not a good hour for you. So are your wife and child sleeping?
Yes, they are.
Very nice. So Seijin, welcome. Mm-hmm. What prompted you? Again, I want to repeat to people, you were born in the U.S., but your parents were born outside of the U.S., correct? Your mother in Mexico and your father in Japan.
Well, my mother was born in the U.S. My great-grandparents came from Mexico.
I see.
So, yes,
so you speak obviously fluent English and fluent Japanese.
Yes, thank
Do
you.
you,
I
do you,
guess so.
do you speak Spanish as well?
I'm working on it. I do speak Korean, but
Why do you speak Korean?
well, so I am a unificationist. It's kind of a religious reasons. I'm
Oh, I'm
also known
sure.
as a
Yes,
Buddhist.
yes, the Unification Church. I'm very familiar with it.
Yes, sir.
Reverend
Oh,
Moon.
wow. That's correct.
Right.
So
Did you marry your wife in a Unification Church ceremony?
that's correct. I was matched by Reverend Moon, and yes, we've been together since 2009. We're very happily married.
How does he know whom to match you with?
That's a very good question. I think maybe kind of I guess spiritually attuned, but I mean my parents were also matched by Reverend Moon, and many other people are so. But and of course there's some marriages that break, but I know a lot of marriages which have lasted, and I think really seeing my own parents, they love each other so much, and even though for certain circumstances my dad's in Japan, my mother's in the US, but they still have a very good relationship, and I can see that really like an ocean, one ocean across does not change their love for each other, and just I've always felt the warmth of their love as I grew up, and also my dad gave me pretty clear guidelines, and I think really in my church we say that family is the school of love, and I think that my family was a living example of that, and that's why I'm connected to the church. That's why I'm connected to God. I love Jesus. I love Reverend Moon. I love Dr. Hachahan Moon. We call them true parents. And yeah, my church also connected me to you and Prager you, I feel, because on my church's website there was an article, Judaism Sexual Revolution, Why Judaism Rejected Homosexuality, and I was blown away by it. So yeah, it's I love my movement so much, and I love being unificationist. I love everything that comes with it. I love that I could have this opportunity to talk with you today. You're like my hero, so
Well,
thank you so much.
You're a fascinating person. I'm curious, then I'm going to get to you and Prager you. I'm curious, do Japanese accept you as completely Japanese, because you don't look fully Japanese?
Well, I guess they don't think I'm fully Japanese. I'm sure they feel like, oh, I guess he must be. He doesn't seem Japanese, so I think maybe some people would think of me as like half Japanese, or maybe not. But I think since I can speak the language,
right. So, in daily
yeah.
life, do you feel that you are treated differently?
Not really.
Good. I was just curious. All right, I'm going to come back to you in a moment, folks. This is fundraising month for Prager U. We have Prager Force people all over the world, as you see.
Okay, this is an advertisement. I'm skipping until the interview starts again.
Pacific Mortgage. Hi, everybody. Dennis Prager here. One of the highlights of fundraising month, if not the highlight for me, speaking to Prager Force members around the world, 20,000 of them. And I have Seijin Shirotori. If you were asked, this is just a curiosity question, what are you in terms of nationality? What would you answer today? Japanese, American, American-Japanese? What would you say?
I would say I'm American. When I married my wife, I did have to choose a nationality, and since I live in Japan, I did have dual citizenship, Japanese and American, but so right now I only have American citizenship, but at the same time I do, like, inside I kind of feel Japanese, so it's like I'm American, but I also feel very Japanese.
Why are the Japanese having so few children?
I think just they don't value the family as much as they did before, and I think just affluence, like people just take it for granted that everything is very good. I mean, we're protected by the U.S. military, and a lot of conservative forces are trying to change the Constitution so we don't have to rely so much on America. But just like the left in Japan, they say, "Oh, protect the Constitution. We need we must not go to war," but that means that there are no real like Japanese people defending our own land. We have to have American troops defend our land, and that's a disservice to America and also all the troops that are really sacrificing their time here in Japan. So I always hear you say how the left lives in kind of a dreamland, but I really feel that here in Japan too. But anyway, I think that's one thing, and also maybe just like sexual ethics. Just if you look at the culture right now, you see all these really super huge, the anime characters, super huge eyes, big breasts, and like people are so caught up with just satisfying their desires, but not they don't realize that the sexual union is to create a family. They only see the act itself, but they need to go further than that, and that's what I really feel.
Right, but ironically, in Japan, there's and tell me if I'm wrong, truly tell me if I'm wrong, there is a real crisis of loneliness. So with all the sex, they're producing lonelier and lonelier people.
That's right. I think it's more just the you don't have to be with a person to experience the sexual pleasures. Just there's so much like anime and
Right,
things
so
like that. So
there's nothing advocating bonding. Just
not really.
yes,
Just
well, no. It's I follow Japan a lot, and it's a real crisis because they don't want immigrants because they want to keep the Japanese, and yet
right.
they're not reproducing. So it's not an optimistic scenario for the Japanese future.
No, it sure isn't. So,
all right.
yeah.
Well, so tell
really,
me what attracts you to PragerU?
So I've been listening to your fireside chats for a long time. Well, I haven't got through all of them, but I started from the latest one and I worked my way to about 100, episode 130.
Not bad.
And just
250 to 130. Okay.
Thank you. Yes. The more I listen, I feel I feel my faith gets stronger. I've restarted reading the Bible again, and but also you've taught me that I need to be more open-minded. I've been pretty reluctant to hear opposing viewpoints because I always felt I know how cunning the left is, and they can be very persuasive. So I felt my young mind, I couldn't really process it, and I might be taken over to the other side. So I've been kind of pretty close-minded. But the more I listen to you now, I feel I need to be open-minded, and then I also feel that I'm kind of ready to broaden my perspective. And also, I think when I joined, what really gave me the push to join Prager Force was Amala Ekunobi's Unapologetic. I was very impressed. On the show, she was getting some pretty difficult questions from her viewers, but she was able to really stand up for her values and express herself very eloquently. And I felt that I really need to and want to be able to do that.
That's beautiful. Listen, I really hope we meet one day at some Prager Force event. And
I would love that.
And if not, I hope I'll return to Japan and see you. So,
yes, please.
Thank you. And go to bed now. Go to bed.
Okay, I will. Thank you, sir.
All
it's
right.
a pleasure, and God bless you, and thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for being, giving us the courage to just be true to ourselves. I wanted to say that too.
That's beautiful. Arigato. Perfect. Well, I was just speaking to Seijin Shirotori, who is a member of Prager Force, and this is fundraising month. You know, it's not insignificant that he said that PragerU actually asked him to open his mind to other views. We're very keen on that. We want you to be prepared to know what those with whom we differ think. If you want to help this country, please help PragerU. Whatever you give, by the way, this week is doubled. You give $100, it's $200. You give 1,000, it's 2,000. You give 10, it's 20. There's no reason you can't give a small donation. In some cases, a big donation. PragerU.com, 833-PragerU. When I talk on my fireside chat, I am aware that there are young people around the world listening, or viewing, I should say, and it moves me very deeply. From my home to only God knows how many other homes. We return. The Dennis.
Okay, there's still a little bit more at the end, so please continue to listen. Okay.
Well, there's not much time left, but I do want to discuss a call subject I see. Forgive me for not taking Joel in Boston, but there are only 2 minutes, and I need to address the point that at least the screener has summarized, and that is, what's wrong with you, Dennis, talking to the Japanese guy with today's events? It's a very important question, and I have a very important answer. I don't just talk about events. I'm doing something about them. In my writing, in my talk show, and in PragerU. PragerU is the largest video site on earth combating the woke evil that is taking place. I think that that's pretty significant. It's important to discuss the rut that our government has become through the left. But you know what? discussing it without doing something about it is not very helpful. So the single best thing you, Joel, could do is support PragerU, so that we get rid of people who are ruining our society and that we change the minds of young people. I don't find talking about bad things to be anything but cathartic. It's a sort of, in many cases, onanism. Feels good, but doesn't produce much. So you want to do something? Help this kid in Japan make the case for Judeo-Christian and American values. That's what you can do. That's why I was very happy to talk to him on the day that the United States of America used the FBI as a police state would. The numbness of Americans to the police state that the left wishes to create and has created in California, a state that is dysfunctional in the extreme, as I read to you from the Daily Telegraph in England. There is a numbness on the part of half of this country to the rut that they are creating. And I'm trying to do something about it with the life that the Lord has given me. And I hope you'll join me, Joel, and everybody else. Through my talk show, my writings, and PragerU. Whatever you give to PragerU this week will be doubled. Thank you.
Okay, so that is the interview. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Actually, there's also a Japanese version of this. Hope everybody's hearing me well. There's a Japanese version of the Dennis Prager Show interview on my YouTube channel. So here's the link on top, and then here's my own YouTube channel right here. So please head on over if you're interested. And I also wanted to mention I was very grateful that Mr. Prager showed his support for me in his final comments. It really made me, I feel that this was not only just a win for me, but also a win for, more importantly, the unification movement. I feel that really God-fearing, good, sincere, honest, righteous people can recognize God-fearing, good, sincere, and honest movements. Okay, so, and finally, before I end this segment, I want to talk a little bit more about PragerU. It is no longer PragerU's fundraising month, but they're always welcoming donations. If you would like to support them, please head on over to their website to make a donation. It's tax deductible. And also about Prager Force, if you have a son or daughter who is under 35, or if you yourself are actually that age, then I highly recommend joining Prager Force. It's a great place to meet like-minded people and also share ideas. And finally, the PragerU app is amazing. It has tons and tons of content, and it's free. It's where I listen to Mr. Prager's fireside chats. Usually while I do housework, like I do the dishes and cooking sometimes. So it's a great way to, do housework. Okay. All right. So anyway, that is it for the PragerU segment. Now let us move on to the IFVOC segment. If you're living outside of Japan, most likely you have not heard of the IFVOC, and I don't blame you because it's a political organization unique to Japan. The initials stand for International Federation for Victory Over Communism. It was found in 1968 by Reverend Sungmyun Moon, and there is True Father writing out the name of the organization in his beautiful calligraphy, which he's very famous for. And the IFVOC have been fighting communism in Japan for more than 50 years. They actually played a major role in ending the 28-year-old communist regime in the Kyoto prefecture. For a long time, it was the governor was a communist, and when he was about to retire and knew the candidate for the Communist Party was coming up and was running in the election, they made sure to let people know about the danger of communism and actually the crime of the Japanese Communist Party. They've murdered police officers, they've stolen, they lynch people. It's crazy that they even exist as a party. But because of that, in the election, the conservative candidate won, and ever since then, the governor of Kyoto has been a conservative. So I think that that's something worth mentioning. And for the activities of the IFVOC, it includes the following. So one is making speeches in front of major train stations. In Japan, the roads are narrow and people use more of the public transportation, especially trains, and millions of people commute to work by the railroad system. And speaking in front of train stations is a great way to get our message out to many people. So they have speeches like this every month. Sadly, because of the hostile environment toward the Unification Church by the media and also kind of in society in general, to protect the members, they don't do this at this moment, but I'm sure that once things settle down, they will resume. Okay, now to some other activities. So they also publish the Shiso Shimbun, which is translates to ideology newspaper, twice a month, and this is delivered to the homes of the IFVOC. The picture that you see is the latest copy that I own, and I like it very much. And the IFVOC also has monthly VOC study sessions. There, they gather. The members gather in a certain location, and the executive advisor of the IFVOC talks about the current events from a headwing standpoint, and also talks about the danger of communism. And it's really helpful because they have Q&A sessions at the end, and that's where we can deepen our understanding even more. Actually, the highlight of this IFVOC segment is going to be Q&A that I had at one of these study sessions, so please look forward to it. Also, I want to mention Shokyo Unite, which is translates to VOC Unite. This is a separate youth organization from the IFVOC. They're different organizations, but they work closely together. It was started in 2016, if I remember correctly, by 4 college-age students. And you see their logo, and they also do speaking in front of train stations, and they have marches to stand up for God-centered family values as well. I'm very proud and happy that I can be in Japan, where they are very active. Okay, and at this point, I would like to present to you a very special person, the executive advisor of the IFVOC, Mr. Yoshio Watanabe. Just his photo, though. So Mr. Watanabe is a key person in the IFVOC. He does speeches in front of train stations. Actually, the previous slide, there we go. That's him right there. And he does that every month. He writes the front page of the Shiso Shimbun every issue, and he also lectures at the VOC study sessions. This picture is him answering my question using the DP. He cites the DP. It's amazing. He's very knowledgeable about world events and also is very grounded in the principle. So now for the highlight of the IFVOC segment, the Q&A session that I had with Mr. Watanabe regarding headwing, the headwing ideology. I understand that members have kind of an idea of headwing ideology, but it seems like it's not quite the same. It differs slightly between members. And I really wanted to get some clarification. So that's why I decided to ask Mr. Watanabe, who better ask than people who take headwing ideology and love true parents really seriously. So I translated the Q&A. So here we go. First, this is what the way I asked the question. Okay, so this is me. Please let me know if my understanding of the concept of headwing ideology is correct. My father taught me that headwing thought is not a compromise of right-wing ideology and left-wing ideology. In other words, headwing thought is an ideology which surpasses both right-wing and left-wing. Also, headwing ideology and victory over communism theory are the same thing, and headwing thought is not an ideology to stop the right and the left from fighting. Additionally, the purpose of headwing ideology is to defeat the left, which is rooted in atheism and materialism, by pointing out and criticizing its flaws, and eventually guide them to the path of heaven by offering alternative solutions to their problems. Furthermore, regarding right-wing thought / conservatism, head-wing ideology is meant to revitalize the right by connecting them to God and true parents and to guide them so they may reach a higher level. Would you say that my understanding is correct? And this is the response of Mr. Watanabe. Okay. I believe, just as you put it, is correct, is perfect. The greatest issue with both the right and the left for us, especially those on the left actually, is that they, the left, on both the level of ideology and the nation, do not recognize God and strive to create a nation that denies our heavenly parent. Also, for those who are right-wing, they don't fully understand God, and in the end may become selfish and individualistic as well. And that selfish individualism then can deteriorate into a nationalism that has an extremist nature. Okay, just wanted to interject here. This is especially true for the far right in Japan. They don't recognize the Judeo-Christian God that we as unificationists recognize. The emperor and the emperor's family are kind of like God, and are at least descendants of God, the Japanese gods, and they tend to value honor over their own lives. A far-right extremist once delivered a speech from the balcony of his home and then slit his belly, committing seppuku like a samurai, and well, it was considered suicide. So with that in mind, it is very important to connect the right to God as well. Okay, just wanted to mention that. Let's continue. In the end, the head of the word head-wing means God. When True Father proposed the idea of head-wing, he was thinking of the future of the world after the Cold War structure had come to an end. That was the premise of head-wing thought. True Father believed that there was the need for an ideology which not only could overcome the left centering on God, but also could help the right understand God more clearly and attend him, her, as well. This new ideology must be able to connect the right to God so they may become a thriving force. True Father was adamant that the ideology was called head-wing for these reasons. The most important thing is to know God. In addition, both True Mother and True Father understand that all problems cannot be solved just by knowing God, and that it is important for us to become leaders in showing the world what it means to attend God. They believe that that is the crucial point. That truly is head-wing. When true parents speak of attendance, it is on a level of daily life, meaning it is on a different level than ideology, concepts, or politics. To attend someone means to live together with that person. To attend God thus means to build one's relationship with him, her. I believe that currently our position as the IFVOC is to show that on the level of the individual, the family, and the tribe. So, Mr. Shiratori, regarding your comments earlier about head-wing, I believe that your understanding is good just as it is. That is the end of the Q&A. So I'm very grateful for the IFVOC for really connecting True Parents' teachings to real life, and more specifically politics. I think that's very important. I feel that really, as religious people, we can't be living in this bubble where we can't just live in the church. We have to live among everybody. I mean, we're trying to create the kingdom of heaven on earth, and I do respect the Amish, but I feel that they are kind of living in the bubble, and we can't be like that. We have to go out into the world and really connect people to God and True Parents. I really appreciate the IFVOC for showing me how to do that, and I'm also grateful that both the IFVOC and the VOC Unite, they standed for President Trump in the 2020 elections. I know that the American movement, unification movement, was kind of the statement was more like there are more important things in the providence than who becomes the next president. I feel it was rather kind of weak, just trying to appeal to everyone. But I'm grateful that even amongst that, we have people like IFVOC and also VOC Unite who stood for President Trump. And also, I believe that many in the Japanese movement, unification movement, even though they could not vote in the election, were praying for President Trump's reelection. Okay, so that's it for the IFVOC segment. And now I would like to move on to conclude this. So first of all, I want to share a quote from Buddha. Life is like the harp string. If it is strung too tight, it won't play. If it is too loose, it hangs. The tension that produces the beautiful sound lies in the middle. I do understand that in this world there is right and there is wrong. I don't believe that a little bit of right, a little bit of wrong is the midway in that sense. And to share another quote from the anime/manga, Case Closed or Mentaten Conan, Shinjitsu wa itsumo hitotsu. There is always only one truth. And I believe this is very true. But it is never easy to find the truth because there are good people both on the right and the left, and there are forces that are trying to cloud our judgment to cover up the truth. And so it's very difficult. I feel that if we listen to just one side, then we get kind of lopsided in our ideology, and we have to listen to both sides to get the full picture. And we have to listen to people that we completely disagree with and think are saying things that are bogus, because in the end, really, as they say in Lilo and Stitch, Ohana means family, and family means no one is left behind. I love the VOC theory, victory over communism. It is not just anti-communism, but it is really to defeat communism, but at the same time, make sure that they're connected to God to find true happiness. And that's what I really want to do. And I really appreciate both the IFVOC and PragerU organizations, which really take their beliefs, their values seriously, as well as this, and are very real, that are very rooted, that are aware of what's going on in this world. And thanks to them, I feel that my faith is stronger, as I said in the interview, but also I am open to listen to more people that I disagree with. And I owe them so much, and I'm grateful to them. Okay, so that is my presentation. Here's my references if you would like to check them out later. And finally, I would like to end with a song, an ending song. So make sure this song starts out pretty loud. Please lower your volume at this time if necessary. This song is The Meaning of Truth from the anime F-Zero GP Legend. The original Japanese song was by HiroX, and it was fan-dubbed by Shadles. I hope I got his name right. Okay, so with that, let us listen to Meaning of the Truth. Oops, let's see, just a minute, please. Okay, a little technical. Here we go. Okay, all right, make sure your volume is at the right place.
Where is this desire to protect all you hold and defend the ones you love, both young and old? Never did you realize how much they mean till they fade away. So now it's time to cast aside any and all doubt and dismay. Rise up and use all that you have inside of you. Don't give up and you will at last come to discover where your future's heading to. It's time to show the world what you're made of. Go use all of your power and your love. The time has come to finally reveal all of your proof. Go deliver up your final blow, and then at last you'll come to know that you have found the meaning of truth. Searching for the truth.
Let us all continue to be searching for the truth, no matter how hard it is, no matter what political viewpoint we may have. And I hope this song gives you strength and encouragement when you really need it. Okay, God bless you. Thank you. And arigatou gozaimashita.
Thank you.